talk you through it. What we're doing.
Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're trying to take the front suspension apart, and we're working on the left side. And if you see that big rod running up through there, this is a new technique that I haven't tried before, where you take the tension off the spring, undo the control arm, and then let the spring tension off slowly by unthreading the rod. You can see we don't really trust it because we've got a jack underneath it in case something doesn't work as it's planned.
Wow. That's a 2-cylinder. Looks pretty good.
I got one on. Okay.
Whoops. No, I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, you'll get no... You'll see when we'll show you that thing. It's really kind of fun to watch.
I just want to be careful this doesn't over. So.
But
yeah.
Why don't you catch the spring?
The whole thing. Is it going anywhere?
Well, the spring is. So we're ready to disembowel this.
I don't know where to put this.
Are you ready? Up and over. Okay, we go up. Just put it away.
What's that in the bottom? Noise suppressors?
No. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there though.
Yeah.
Are you ready for an up and over? Can you do it yourself or do you need help?
Oh, I can. Wait, I'm losing it. I lost it. Okay. What's that hanging on?
Oh, the edge of the frame.
Oh.
If you're at that side and I'm at this side.
Wait, lifting up the bottom?
Yeah.
Need to get the drag link out of there, I think.
Drag link?
Here. I don't think it's going to be in the way, is it? It's underneath the right. Can you get it? No, you can't. I'm not listening to anything.
You have to drop your end way down for me to be able to get the spring to go up.
I knocked that pack off.
That's all right. It has to be almost on the ground for me to get up and over.
Wait. It's the spring is not up in here.
Zoom out that way. Let's take the spring out. Let's get this in place. And then I'll try pushing the spring up in place. We gotta get him lined up.
Yeah, it's just.
Let me get his cap in.
Oh, now find shims here.
Where's your nuts?
The nuts are right here.
You got them? Okay, the shims are all over the floor.
All over the place.
I'll try to get them. Make sure I got all of them. So now what we're doing is we're putting the new suspension into the old suspension into the new frame, and what you see there is a big old threaded rod that's running from the top to the bottom, and it's putting the spring in tension so that we can bring the spring up into place and tie down that suspension attachment, the lower control arm attachment right there. As you see him turning it, you see it's squeezing that spring more and more and more. Eventually we'll get it into place and we'll be able to put those attachments in and it'll stay there.
And I'd like to introduce you to Rod Holmes, who's holding the rod. That makes him the rod man.
Yeah, Rod's a good friend.
He's also a former General Motors engineer, and proud to have him here with us, helping us today.
Well, yeah, he lives in Bloomfield Township, is it, or Bloomfield?
Bloomfield Township.
Yeah, and he's also goes back and forth to Florida, and he's a Corvette lover, and he rides a Harley motorcycle, so he's our kind of guy. Loosening up the rod now that we have the suspension in place. The noise in the background is the generator because we lost power and we're keeping the refrigerator going. Control arm in place, and it seems to work. It's a lot of twisting, but that's because you have to compress the spring almost all the way in order to get it off. So now we're ready to put on the second suspension, the right hand suspension. Kurt is tightening up the rod here that compresses the spring, as we did on the other side. So it's kind of a tedious task, but it works. Compresses the spring up so we can put the bolts in to hold that lower suspension. You see it moving? As he's tightening that bolt, it's compressing the spring and moving that lower control arm closer up to the frame. When it gets all the way up there, we'll put the bolts in and take that tensioning rod off. So this is the end of our third day. We've got the front suspension on, complete, the steering, wheels, everything but the stabilizer bar right now. But that's because we got a bolt over there that won't come off. It's going to have to be ground off, and we got no compressor today. You hear the generator. This is our fate. About the time we've needed some power, we ain't got no power. But we're making some headway. And the old frame over here is starting to look pretty much like it's coming from the boneyard. We got the engine yet to pull out of it, and a couple of brackets here and there, but not much. So maybe tomorrow, if there are other holes and we don't lose our patience.